To all the Form 5 students, today's YouTube free tuition number 6 will focus on integration. Find the volume when area revolve about the x-axis. Today we'll discuss volume of region revolve through x-axis. Let's say you have a curve y equal to 1 minus x squared, and we want to find the area under the curve that revolve about x-axis. So if you revolve about the x-axis, the volume generated will look like the one in diagram. It's in chocolate color. Okay, this is the volume generated. So to find the volume for this one, we can only use integration because we don't have a particular formula for this special shape of the volume. It is not a hemisphere. Okay, so we have to use integration. So Vx is pi, integrate from x1 to x2, y squared dx. That means for volume you must have pi and you must square your y before you integrate, okay, for the curve. So the first step is you have to take your curve y and then you square your y. So now we are going to expand y equal to 1 minus x squared, the whole thing square. So you can use expansion or you can use a shortcut to expand, okay, before you integrate. Then for volume generated by the y-axis, okay, the formula will be different. Okay, for this one, the region is in blue color, but the boundary is at the y-axis. That means you are going to rotate the blue area about the y-axis. So the volume generated will look like the one shown in right hand side, the chocolate color. So the shape is a bit different from just now. So the formula also be different. So the formula is v equal to pi y1 to y2 x squared dx. So the volume for the volume generated, it depends on the x-axis and y-axis. So let's see this example. You're asking to find the volume for the area shaded in blue. Okay, so now it's going to rotate about the x-axis. So the first step is you must imagine that the volume looks like the one in the diagram, in the chocolate color diagram. So now we have to use integration. So volume is equal to pi, integrate from our limit is follow the x-axis, which is x1 to x2. Okay, our x1 is the lower limit, which is 0, upper limit is 1, y squared dx. So for y square, we have to take the y and we square the y. So it's 1 minus x squared, the whole thing square. So either you want to use expansion or you want to use a shortcut, up to you. So volume is equal to pi, integrate from 0 to 1. 1, okay, you square the 1, you get 1. Then you will expand, you get negative 2x squared plus x power 4 dx. Okay, after you expand, then you substitute into the formula before you integrate. So the volume is equal to pi, integrate from 0 to 1 for the function that you have square, which is 1 minus 2x squared plus x 4 dx. So okay, when you integrate, your 1 will give you x, the minus 2x squared will give you minus 2x 3 over 3 plus x 5 over 5. Okay, then you substitute the limit carefully. Always substitute the upper limit followed by lower limit. Okay, the upper limit here is 1 and the lower limit here is 0. So we will substitute 1 first, okay, into the bracket, and then minus the lower limit, which is 0. So the 1 is the upper limit, substitute first, followed by minus the lower limit, which is 0. and then you can press your calculator for the value in the first rectangle bracket and then the value in the second rectangle bracket. It looks like it's 0. Okay, so then you simplify your answer and you may leave your answer in pi form unless there is instruction given say that you have to give your answer in significant figure, then you have to use a pi given. Okay, for this example the same, we're going to find the area for the blue color which is going to rotate about the x-axis. Okay, so the volume generated will look like the shape given in the diagram in chocolate color. So the formula is still the same. Pi integrate from 0 is the lower limit and the upper limit is 3. Okay, then you have to make sure you square your y. I think we have 3x minus x squared. Then we will expand first. After expand, then simplify, then only you substitute into the formula for the volume. After you substitute into the volume formula, then only you integrate. Don't forget to integrate. So pi integrate from 0 to 3 for 9x squared minus 6x. Okay, 3 plus x 4 dx. So when you integrate, you get 9x 3 over 3 minus 6x 4 over 4 plus x 5 over 5. Then you substitute the upper limit minus the lower limit. Then you get the answer. Again, you may leave your answer in pi form or you may leave your answer in 4 significant figure unless instruction given. So the shape for the volume is given in the diagram. Okay, next we will discuss another example. Okay, for this one we also focus on the volume generated, okay, about the x-axis. So our function is y equal to 2x plus 3, I think power 2, 2x plus 3 power 2. Okay, so the first step is you have to make sure you write the right formula. Pi, I think the limit was from negative 2 to 1 y squared dx. And then you expand your function. Okay, if your function is 2x plus 3 square, so when you square it, I think we don't expand, we square it. Okay, become 2x plus 3 to the power of 4. Okay, so if you are having the power which is more than 2, we prefer to use the chain rule. So 2x plus 3 to the power of 4 dx. Now we use the chain rule. Still remember the chain rule? Okay, 2x plus 3, 4 plus 1 over 4 plus 1. And then don't forget to divide by 2. You have to divide by the coefficient of the x. Coefficient means the number in front of the x. Okay, then only you substitute the limit into the function that you integrated. Okay, when you substitute, always substitute upper limit minus the lower limit. I think there is some mistake there. It should be 2x plus 3. Okay, 2x plus 3, not plus 4. Okay, we stick to 2x plus 3. There's a typo error there, so sorry for that. Please double check. Okay, maybe there is a mistake there. Okay, but the shape of the volume, it looks like the diagram given. Okay, you can have the imagination of the volume before you find the answer. So you can find the volume for the special shape, okay, by using integration. Okay, next we will discuss one more example is about rotate about x-axis, 360 degree about x-axis. So the function is y equal to 3 over x. So when you want to find the volume about the x-axis, you write the formula first. But before that, you have an imagination that the volume generated will look like diagram. Okay, it's a very special shape of the solid generated. So only integration can find the volume for this. So pi integrate from x1 x2 y squared dx. So then we will make sure we square our y become 9 over x squared. So the x over x squared, the power you have to raise up so that we can add 1 to the power later on. So pi integrate from 1 to 3, okay, 9x negative 2 dx. Then you plus 1 to the power, become 9x negative 1 over negative 1, and the limit is from 0 to 3. So make sure you substitute make sure you simplify first into fraction before you substitute the limit into the fraction. Always simplify to the simplest form before you substitute the limit into the integrated function there. Okay, for this one, this example, we will discuss the function which is a negative function. Okay, is still about the x-axis. So our formula is still the same, pi integrate from x1 to x2 y squared dx. So you need to square your function. Okay, this will be the shape of the volume or solid generated if rotate about the x-axis. So we'll start with the formula v equal to pi from 0 to 1 y squared dx. So we'll substitute the function. Make sure we square the function first. Okay, if negative, when you square it become positive, and 3 become 9. Okay, and 2x minus you have to square the 2x, the denominator, 2x minus 3 to become negative 4 dx. Okay, so then you have to use a chain rule. Remember, use a chain rule, and then you simplify to the simplest form. So after you simplify, then only you make it into fraction before you substitute the upper limit minus the lower limit. Okay, so always follow the step. Don't substitute too early without simplify. Okay, make your answer simplest form first before you press your calculator. So after you simplify, you will get the answer which is positive. Okay, for next example, this one is also the area under the curve and bounded by x-axis. So next we will discuss one more example, which is find the volume generated when the shaded region is rotated 360 degree about the x-axis. Okay, so the same thing, we will write the formula first. Okay, v equal to pi integrate from x1 to x2 y squared dx. Okay, for this question, because the function will come with the y square, so we shift the negative y square to the left to make it positive y square. So y square equal to 2 minus x. We just modify. We don't have to square it, okay, because the y square is there. So then you substitute your y square, which is equal to 2 minus x, into your formula before you integrate. Okay, so our volume is pi integrate from 0 to 2. I think the limit was wrong there. 0 to 2, and then the y square will be replaced by 2 minus x. So you don't have to square again. So okay, so your answer is, after you substitute, you will have to integrate. So it become pi. When you integrate 2, you get 2x. When you integrate your x, you will get x squared over 2. Okay, then you substitute the limit from 0 to 2. So we will substitute 2 first, which is the upper limit. Okay, then minus the lower limit, which is 0. Okay, so please make sure you double check you are doing the right thing. Substitute the upper limit 2 first, okay, into the x, and then minus the lower limit. Okay, then only you press your calculator carefully. So leave your answer in pi form unless there is instruction given. So the answer for the volume is 2 pi for this question. Next, we'll discuss the last question. Okay, find the volume generated. Still rotate about the x-axis, but the degree is 180 degree because there are two quadrant, first quadrant and second quadrant. So we just rotate 180 degree, okay, above the x-axis and below the x-axis. So we don't have to rotate 360 degree. So the same thing, we will just integrate from pi 0 to 2 y square dx, and then the y square, as like just now, you bring to the left. So the y square is equal to 2 minus x. So you just substitute 2 minus x into the formula. So v is pi integrate from 0 to 2, not negative 1, not negative 2 to 1. Integrate from 0 to 2 for 2 minus x dx. And then you integrate carefully, okay? Please do not square again. So because the function is already come with y square, so your v is integrate is pi integrate from 0 to 2 for 2 minus x dx. And then you integrate carefully, okay? Integrate carefully for 2 minus x dx. So after you integrate the 2, you get 2x. The pi is still there, bracket 2x minus x square over 2. Then you substitute the limit carefully, okay, from 0 to 2. Then you simplify your answer, okay. When you substitute, remember, substitute the upper limit 2 first minus the lower limit 0. Then you will get the volume generated as shown in the diagram above. So only integration can help us to calculate the volume for the curve.
Here I am where the movie started, facing at a